So the A's suffer their first big injury of the year as starting catcher Tyler Soderstrom suffers a broken hand, and he's projected to be out for 2 to 3 months. He wasn't off to the best of starts here of this campaign, but in his place we ended up calling him Michael Toglia. Sorry, I always say Toglia. We ended up also calling down Lawrence Butler so we could get a backup catcher, as Lawrence Butler was also not having a good year. And Alfonso Rivera ends up being that backup catcher for us now, as Langoliers will be the everyday starter. We are home here at the Oakland Coliseum as we take on the AL East. I think the division leaders, if not, they're tied with the Yankees, the Toronto Blue Jays. Our graphics messed up here at the beginning. I don't know why, it's just MLB The Show. As it's Michael Tolia's MLB debut here. You can see his AAA stats, or AA, I don't remember where I called him up from. But here we're trying to make a case as why we're one of the best teams in the league. Starting pitcher today for us will be James Kaprielian, off to a pretty good start here, as we would then go on and start off with the first batter of the day, where it's Luis Gurriel in a 3-2 count, and he would proceed to get on with, or a flyout, sorry, not get on, to center field, where Kiermaier makes the play for out number 1. And you can look at this Toronto lineup as an early MVP candidate. Bo Bichette is leading this team at cleanup. Vlad and Kevin Biggio also having pretty good starts to the year. It's a pretty good Blue Jays team they have here, and Bo Bichette is the leader of that, as he's up here with Vlad after taking a walk and 2 outs. 1-2 count for the MVP candidate as he grounds into a fielder's choice for out number 3 to end the first inning. We now go over to the offensive side for the A's, as it's Kevin Gausman pitching today for the Toronto Blue Jays. And a runner on with 1 out, it's Austin Meadows in a 3-1 count, and he drills one into deep right field. Back at the wall goes the right fielder, but it's caught for out number 2 there. As I believe we check the A's lineup now, 1 through 9. You can see Ironman batting pretty bad. Toglia will start at the 5th spot here. Now with a runner on, 3-2 count. Swanson will be on the move as JD Martinez, as he takes ball 4 here. So with 2 on and 2 outs, Michael Toglia gets his first MLB at bat in a 1-2 count against Kevin Gausman. And a pitch is hung over the middle, and Toglia drives one to center field. George Springer running back at the wall, and he can't get it at the leaping try. And Michael Toglia, his first MLB at bat, he gets his first major league home run and gives the A's a 3-0 lead. The big first baseman showing why he should have been on the team a lot earlier than he was. And now the A's take an early, of course, 3-0 lead, as we jump over now to the top of the second, where George Springer got pissed off that he didn't rob the home run. So he decides that he's going to get his own home run, a moonshot to the staircase in left field. Or not even the staircase, it hit the second deck there. And he cuts the lead down to 2, as it's a 3-1 game now. We then jump later on in the second inning, as it's Adam Duvall here. Apparently Blue Jays legend. Dansby Swanson making a diving play in the outfield grass to get him for out number 2. It was a good play, so I decided to show it, and then I also showed the 3rd out with a runner at second. Alejandro Kirk, I believe that was who was hitting, flies very deep out into right field for out number 3. We then jump over to a runner on and nobody out here, as Toglia can't make the play at first, and the Blue Jays have 2 runners on in the corners with nobody out here at the top of the 3rd, looking to do damage and get themselves the lead back. This is all unedited, by the way. This is how quickly this all happened. A ground ball from Vlad Guerrero, and that would be a 3-2 game now, as there's still 2 runners on, nobody out. We then go to MVP candidate Bo Bichette, 3-2 count. Kaprielian throws, and he rips one in the right field. That will be extra bases. 1 run definitely scores. It will be a tie game. Vlad Guerrero, I believe, does not test the arm of the cutoff man. It's a tie game here in Oakland with nobody down. Eventually we get an out, and then we get our second out of the inning on a great play from Ironman, but the run comes across, so it is now 4-3 Toronto. as that would basically end the inning here as Duvall, strikes out looking at a changeup up. But 3 unanswered runs, or I guess 4 unanswered runs. And then we jump all the way to the 6th inning. 2 runners on. Kaprelian's day ends, working 5 innings. Weisenberger comes out on the mound, and he allows a base knock. 1 run will score there, and they would increase their lead to 5-3 here, as nothing really happened between the 3rd and the 6th inning. That's why I jumped, and apparently I jumped right to Weisenberger. We then jump to the 7th, where there's a runner on 2 outs, and Bo Bichette drills one to deep center field, and Kiermaier will make an attempt, but he won't be able to get it. It is 7-3. The Blue Jays ended up tacking on 3 more runs, making it a 10-3 game. And here at the bottom of the 9th, Tim Maiza looking to close out the game. As you can see, 10-3. Tolia would try to get another hit here. He would ground out in his last at-bat of his debut. And we just got dominated by the Blue Jays after our 3-run home run. Nothing happened. Isan Diaz strikes out here. They win 10-3. I believe player of the game goes to Bo Bichette or George Springer. Yeah, George Springer, he had 2 home runs. Gosman gets the win while Kaprelian gets the loss. Tolia's the only one responsible for any of our runs. He had the 3-run shot. And we only had 3 hits while they had 13. You can see both players, or notable players for both teams there. We now head out to Houston to face the division rivals, the Houston Astros, 2 teams fighting for the number 1 spot here in the AL West, as Framber Valdez is the short lefty on the mound for the Astros, as on the mound for us had Cole Irvin, a slightly bigger lefty. Not off to a good record-wise start, but he's not doing too bad this year. We then look at the A's lineup here, 1 through 9. You can see slight changes. Albert Pujols, this is the lefty lineup here. As we'll jump right to the top of the first with 2 down, there's a runner at nowhere. 3-2 count. Austin Meadows would be that runner at first base that I was thinking of because I spoke too early. Meadows takes the walk here, bringing up J.D. Martinez, I'm pretty sure he played for the Astros at one point. I could be wrong though. 1-1 count. He gets a hanging pitch and he drills one into left field, and that will sneak over the left field wall as Yordan Alvarez watches it go. It's an early 2-0 lead for the Athletics as J.D. Martinez gets his 11th homer of the year. Been a great cleanup hitter so far this year. Here's the Astros lineup that we'll be playing today. As you can see, Alex Bregman and I guess Mauricio Dubon actually having the best years on this team. 3-1 count with a runner at second. Yordan Alvarez will hit one up the middle for a base knock, and it would be cutting the lead down in half as the relay would not be in time. And it is an early, or a 2-1 early. Next batter up would be Pedro Leon, who would ground out to Isan Diaz for out number 3, and it is 2-1 Athletics here at the end of the first, thanks to Yordan Alvarez. We then jump to the 3rd inning here as it's Bo Karlik here leading it off. His second at-bat of the day, and he rips one to left field for what would be an easy double. As my voice starts to crack a little bit, it's leadoff double here as the A's try to add another run here. They go over Dansby Swanson, advances him over, and then a walk from Austin Meadows, who already has 2 walks today, bringing up J.D. Martinez, who's responsible for both runs. However, he grounds into a 3-6-1 double play to end the inning here, as no damage was done for the A's that inning. We then jump to the bottom of the 3rd with a runner on and 2 outs, and Cole Irvin will proceed to get out of the jam as he is off to a pretty decent start here. Only 1 run allowed, not many hits, but he is allowing some walks. We then jump over to the bottom of the 4th where it's Pedro Leon now, 3-2 count with 1 down, and he'd rip one up the middle for a base knock as Karlik would get it in quickly. And a 1-out single here for the Astros would then lead to the next batter, Pedro Severino, actually 2 outs now, and looks like a stolen base opportunity here. Yep, it was, as Langoliers cannot throw out the speedy runner. I think that was Pedro Leon. It was Pedro Leon. So, runner at second, 2 down. Severino hits a ground ball in the right field, and it would be a base knock. Leon rounding 3rd, he'd score easily on Meadows' arm. It is all tied up here at the bottom of the 4th. We then get out of the inning as Jeremy Pena hits a towering fly ball. Michael Tolia, noted left fielder here. Not sure why he's in left field. I think I just wanted him to play against lefties, so I tried it. We then go to the top of the fifth where we start to get some offense going. Tolia walks to lead off the inning, bringing up Jeremy Ironman, also in a 3-1 count. He would proceed to also draw a walk, bringing up the top of the order here with nobody down and 2 runners on. Bo Karlik 1-2 count. For some reason, bunts with 2 strikes. It would get him on as now the bases are loaded here. With nobody down, it would bring up Dansby Swanson in a 1-2 count. Swanson can't do anything. He strikes out on a hanging curveball there. For out number 1, Austin Meadows would proceed to do almost the exact same thing. The only thing is that curveball was actually good. So now 2 down, JD Martinez, 3-1 count, trying to do damage. And he would proceed to draw a walk, which would walk in the run. 3-2, Athletics now still 2 down. Albert Pujols with the bases still loaded. He'd get a hanging pitch and he'd drive one in the left field, and Yordan would have to watch it go over that wall again. A 44-year-old grand slam here as Albert Pujols, Oakland A's legend himself, breaks open this game for the 5th homer of the year. He was having a really good start to the year against lefties, as he only played against that. As you can see, he doesn't jump around like other people do. Christian Javier, he comes out to get or finish out the inning. He would proceed to do that as Ethan Diaz strikes out on a fastball high. But it is 7-2 Oakland A's here. We then jump over to the bottom of the 5th where it's a runner on, and Jose Altuve decides he wants to try to make this comeback happen as Tolia watches it fly over the left field wall, and Altuve makes it a 7-4 game here, trying to spark a comeback for the Astros. And that would be the end of Cole Irvin's day as manager Kang comes out to talk to his starting pitcher, tell him that his day is done. And that would call upon, I believe, Jack Weisenberger. It looked like Cole Irvin actually allowed a walk or a couple walks. So Jack Weisenberger comes on to try to get out of the jam here. 2 runners on. I believe nobody's out. Maybe 1 out. 1 out. And it's Pedro Leon who hits a ground ball to Ironman. Ironman makes a tough throw over to second for the first out. And then somehow it beats Pedro Leon at first. And we get out of the jam. We now jump over to the 7th inning where it's Austin Meadows here, and Christian Javier just kept his day going as he came in relief and did really well. He would proceed to get Meadows striking out and end the 7th 7-4. We then jump to the bottom of the 7th where it's Adam Kolarek here with a pretty good start to the year in 10 innings, but here was not a good outing as a runner at second, and it's a base knock in the left field for Kyle Tucker. Meadows' throw would not be in time, and it would be 7-5 now. And then after, I don't know if there's anyone else, we call upon Brusdar Gratterall instead. 3-2-1 out, Pedro Leon would strike out on that slider low. And Gratterall would get out of the jam, or get out of the inning, sorry, with a Mauricio Dubon pop-up on a slider low. I don't even know how that's possible, but he did it, and that would be the end of the 7th. Gratterall would also work on to the 8th with 2 outs and a runner at second. Almost gets out of it, but Jose Altuve rips one in the right center field for an easy RBI double for him. And that would knock Gratterall out of the game as Damian Richardson would come on for the 1-out hold here. As he would proceed to do just that. 7-6, Bregman in a 3-2 count. He hits a fly ball in the center field, but Karlik gets under it in time. And end of the 8th, 7-6 here, Oakland. That lead, or that score, would hold into the 9th, where Josh Hader would get his 15th, or get his 17th opportunity at a save, and he would proceed to get his 15th save of the year as Pedro Leon in a 3-2 count. Hader deals, and it's a dribbler back to Langeliers, who gets it on the first in time, and the Athletics win the AL West matchup 7-6. Huge day for the Bats as they got off to a hot start early. Pujols hitting the grand slam, JD Martinez getting some damage done, and that would be Weisenberger actually getting the win while Framber Valdez gets the loss. Noted as Hader gets his 15th save. Player of the game, JD Martinez. Basically, scored 1 run more and 1 RBI less than Albert Pujols did on the same stat line. Also had Austin Meadows, who drew 2 walks, and I don't think he got a hit at all. He just drew a couple walks. We then go to simulating some games as we lose the last game of the series to the Astros and lose this series against the Red Sox here. But that's not why I'm showing this. You can see this Angels game we simulate here, and Bo Karlik suffers a shoulder separation and will be out 2 to 3 months as he would hit the 60-day IL. And then changes would be made to the roster right before the end of the video here. Jeremy Ironman, he had a rough start here. He had some home runs, but that was basically it. So he goes down to AAA. Jaloff, who was struggling in AAA, will go down to AA. We then go to Hunter Bishop, who was also struggling in MLB level. He would head down to AAA as well. We call upon Gabriel Maciel to be the 5th outfielder here for us in the MLB level, as he was doing pretty well in AAA. I believe Michael Castro goes up to AAA after that as well. And then we also go to Luis Rengifo to be the new middle infield backup / starter for now. And we would also promote Mickey McDonald, so it looks like he's actually our 5th outfielder, as he was having a good year, and he's had a good couple years. Last thing would be designating Eniel De Los Santos, who had had a rough year, to make room on the 40-man roster for Hunter Wood, as he was having a great year. So he would come over to the MLB level. This episode, guys, thank you all for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you all later.